Silence is not an escape, but a door that opens to the true nature of being.
Silence amidst emotional turmoil is like a safe harbor in the storm.
When we detach from superficial identities, we begin to access our natural essence.
Genuine happiness flourishes when we align our actions with our highest values.
Hello, I'm Ruby and Oliver, and today I have the honor of welcoming two extraordinary masters for a fascinating debate. Nisargadatta Maharaj, one of the deepest spiritual masters of the 20th century, and Marcus, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor whose wisdom transcends generations. We are here to explore a theme that deeply touches all of us: the war within us and the power of silence in life's storms. In an increasingly chaotic and noisy world, where internal battles seem more intense than ever, understanding the power of silence may be the key to finding peace and clarity amidst life's storms. This is not just another debate about meditation or spiritual practices. We will dive deep into crucial questions such as: can silence truly transform our mind? How can we find clarity amidst emotional chaos? And perhaps the most important question: how can we use silence as a tool to win our internal battles? During our conversation, you will discover how to cultivate a space of inner peace even in moments of turbulence, practical techniques to transform silence into a source of strength and clarity, the true nature of our internal wars, and how to transcend them. Let's start with a profound question that touches the essence of our inner journey. Maharaj, is silence a powerful refuge amidst life's storms, or a way to avoid facing problems head-on?
Well, Rubian, silence is a powerful tool we can use to our advantage. In the heat of internal and external battles, it can become a true refuge. When we allow ourselves to enter silence, we discover a space where we can observe our thoughts and emotions without being dragged away by them. This act of observing brings clarity and allows us to recognize that we are the consciousness that sees these storms, not the storm itself. However, it is crucial to understand that this silence should not be a form of escape. If we use it as a shield to avoid confronting our pains and challenges, it becomes an obstacle. True silence is one that invites us to introspection and the investigation of who am I, not to escape, but to understand the nature of our existence. When we wisely embrace silence, it becomes a space for rejuvenation, enabling reflection and self-discovery. Thus, instead of avoiding problems, silence can help us face them with a new perspective, revealing an inner peace that empowers us to deal with life's storms more resolutely and centered.
A fascinating perspective on the power of silence, Maharaj. Marcus, I would like to hear your view on this same question. Can silence be both refuge and escape?
Silence, Rubian, is indeed a powerful refuge, especially when we find ourselves amidst emotional storms or external challenges. It allows us to slow down, connect with our inner essence, and reflect on situations without the external cacophony that often distracts us from our path. By distancing ourselves from others' voices and opinions that can cloud our perception, we find space for clarity and understanding. It is in this silence that we can align with the reason that resides within us, our moral compass. However, it is essential that this silence does not become a tool for escape. Its true value lies in its ability to empower us to face our problems with a calm and focused mind, rather than keeping us in a state of denial. Silence should be a moment of introspection, where contemplating our challenges leads us to solutions and not just a state of passive waiting. Think of a diver in the depths of the ocean. Even amidst the turbulence of the surface, he finds the calm necessary to navigate with precision. The true art of silence is knowing how to use it as a moment to reignite the flames of our inner strength, so that we can face the storms life presents us with instead of hiding from them.
Extraordinary how both views complement each other. Maharaj shows us how silence can be a tool for self-knowledge, while Marcus presents it as a means to strengthen our capacity for action. I have learned that silence is not an escape, but a portal to deeper understanding and more conscious action. But let's explore more about this in our next question. Now I would like to explore something that many of us face daily. Maharaj, can this war between thoughts and our mind ever be won? How can we find peace amidst this constant internal conflict?
Rubian, this is a very pertinent question. The war between thoughts that you mention is, in fact, a mental construct we create. Think of the mind as a theater where different characters, our thoughts, constantly enter and exit the scene. The secret is not in trying to win this war, but in changing our relationship with it. True liberation comes when we realize that we do not need to identify with every thought that arises. It's like being the sky itself. The clouds, thoughts, come and go, but the sky remains unchanged, always present and aware. Meditation is a valuable tool in this process. It helps us develop this observing awareness, allowing us to connect with our true essence, that I am that exists beyond thoughts. When we establish ourselves in this state of witness, we discover that peace is already present, regardless of mental agitation.
What an enlightening perspective, Maharaj. Marcus, how do you see this issue of mental battle? Is there a way for us to achieve victory in this internal conflict?
Rubian, just as a gardener learns to cultivate his garden with patience and discernment, we can learn to cultivate our mind. The internal battle is a reality of the human experience, but its resolution lies in our ability to develop self-control and reflection. When we learn to observe our thoughts with detachment, like someone contemplating a turbulent river from the shore, we begin to develop the ability to choose which thoughts deserve our attention. It's like building a bridge over choppy waters. It requires practice, patience, and determination. True victory does not lie in eliminating thoughts, but in developing the capacity not to be dominated by them. It's like the sky that remains vast and unchanging, even when passing storms cross it. With daily practice and self-discipline, we can create a mental space where clarity and serenity prevail over chaos.
Impressive how both masters show us that true victory does not lie in eliminating thoughts, but in transforming our relationship with them. While Maharaj presents the perspective of the conscious observer, Marcus teaches us about the patient cultivation of the mind. I realize that perhaps we are fighting the wrong battle. Instead of waging war against our thoughts, we can learn to transcend them. In fact, I ask you to help us continue this battle of bringing this incredible content to more people. Leave your like, comment, and thus we can grow here on YouTube, always alongside you. But let's continue this exploration. We have a question that has fascinated humanity for millennia. Maharaj, can silence truly transform the mind and lead to deep self-knowledge? Or is this just an esoteric myth?
Rubian, silence is much more than an abstract concept. It is a door that opens to the true nature of being. When the mind quiets down, we find a space where distractions and incessant thoughts dissipate, revealing our deepest essence. Imagine a mirror covered in dust. It is impossible to see your reflection clearly. Silence acts like a gentle breath that removes this dust, allowing us to see our true nature with clarity. When we allow ourselves to enter this state of stillness, we begin to access parts of ourselves that were hidden beneath the layers of constant thought. Silence enables a clearer observation of experiences, allowing us to become witnesses of our emotions and thoughts, instead of identifying with them. This practice of observation can reveal to us that many of our problems are merely mental constructs, thus dissipating the power they exert over us. Therefore, each moment of true stillness is a step toward deep self-knowledge. Silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of pure awareness, where true transformation can occur.
Marcus, I would like to hear your view on this same question. Does silence really have this transformative power, or is it just a romantic idea?
Rubian, silence is undoubtedly a true portal to self-knowledge. When we allow ourselves this pause, we can distinguish our genuine thoughts and emotions, free from the distortions of the outside world. The practice of silence invites us to look inward, to confront our fears, insecurities, and longings. It is in this space of tranquility that we can engage in meaningful self-reflection, free from the noise of others' opinions and daily distractions. When we empty the mind, we open space for clarity, like an open field under a clear sky after a storm. Silence is also a powerful tool for self-control. In moments of stress and conflict, the ability to remain silent, to step back and contemplate, can prevent impulsive reactions that we might regret. It's like developing a muscle. The more we practice silence, the stronger our disposition becomes to act thoughtfully and ethically. Therefore, By embracing silence, we invite an internal transformation, cultivating a more harmonious relationship with ourselves and the world. This practice of introspection is essential for personal development and for building a more meaningful life.
Remarkable how both perspectives illuminate different aspects of the power of silence. Maharaj shows us how it reveals our true nature, while Marcus highlights its role in developing self-control and practical wisdom. I now understand that silence is not just a pause in the noise, but an active force of transformation and self-knowledge. Let's continue our exploration. Let's address a question that deeply touches our human experience. Maharaj, during an internal emotional storm, is it possible for silence to bring clarity, or does it merely intensify confusion?
Rubian, silence during an emotional storm is like a beacon in the darkness. When the mind is agitated and emotions become overwhelming, seeking silence is not an escape, but a way to reconnect with the essence of being. It is in this space of quietude that we have the chance to observe the storms without becoming part of them. Think of a diver in deep waters. On the surface, the currents may be intense, but when submerged, we find a zone of natural tranquility. Silence works like this. It allows us to access that depth where confusion begins to dissipate. It is vital to understand that confusion arises from the identifications we make with emotions and thoughts. By silencing yourself, you enter a state of witness, a neutral observer. This allows emotions to flow without the weight of attachment and resistance. The confusion, which seems like an insurmountable wall, begins to dissipate as one recognizes the space of consciousness, which is always present and unshakable.
Fascinating, this perspective on the power of silence in turbulent moments. Maharaj. Marcus, how do you see this same question? Can silence truly bring clarity amidst emotional chaos?
Rubian, silence offers a space for the mind to detach from the agitation of feelings. It's similar to the moment when the dust settles after being stirred up. Only then can we see clearly what was obscured. When we pause amidst the turmoil, we can observe our thoughts like leaves carried by the wind, understanding that we are not necessarily our feelings. It is important to remember that confusion, although intense, is a part of the human experience. Just like a storm, it too shall pass. However, if we allow ourselves to be swept away by the whirlwind without practicing self-reflection, silence may feel endless and uncomfortable. The secret lies in the intention we bring to our silence. A welcoming and observed silence can transform into clarity, allowing us to discern what truly values our essence.
What depth of understanding! I now realize that silence is not just the absence of noise, but an active presence that allows us to navigate more wisely through our emotional storms. And speaking of wisdom, let me give you an incredible tip. Did you know it's very easy to get ahead of 99% of people, succeeding in everything you want for your life? I'll leave a link below in the description to a book that changed my perspective on various aspects of my mind, and that has been helping thousands of people find clarity and confidence to achieve their goals and dreams. Be sure to check it out. I'm sure you'll love it. Asterisk. Continuing our conversation, another intriguing question that has been on my mind lately. Maharaj, is it possible that silence truly enhances our creativity and understanding, or are we just romanticizing a concept without practical foundation?
Rubian, silence has a depth that often escapes us. It is like fertile soil where the seeds of creativity and understanding can naturally germinate. When we allow ourselves to experience moments of true stillness, we create a space where our essence can manifest freely. Think of a musician composing a new melody. It is in the space between the notes, in the silence, that the music gains its true form and meaning. Similarly, when we quiet ourselves, we allow insights and deeper understandings to emerge naturally, without the constant effort of thought. Silence invites us to a dimension beyond everyday mental noise, where we can access a creativity that springs not from effort, but from the very nature of being. It is in this space that essential questions about who we are can be explored with greater clarity. Therefore, far from being a romantic idealization, silence is a practical and powerful tool that reconnects us with our inner source of wisdom and creativity. It is the portal through which we can transcend the limitations of ordinary thought and access deeper dimensions of understanding.
What a revealing perspective, Maharaj. Marcus, how do you view this issue? Does silence truly enhance our creative capacity and understanding?
Look, Rubian, silence is like a secret garden where our ideas can bloom naturally. When we step away from the constant noise of the world, we discover a space where the mind can explore new territories with freedom and clarity. Compare this to a crystal-clear lake. Only when the surface is calm can we see to the bottom. In silence, our mind becomes this tranquil lake, allowing deeper ideas and understandings to surface. It is in this state that many philosophers and artists have found their most valuable inspirations. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is a practice that allows us to access more subtle layers of our consciousness. When we allow ourselves these moments of quietude, we are actually cultivating fertile ground where creativity and understanding can develop naturally, free from the interference of the outside world.
Fascinating. Maharaj shows us silence as a portal to our creative essence, while Marcus presents it as a space for inner cultivation. I now understand that silence is not just a pause in noise, but an active catalyst for our creative expansion and deeper understanding. Now let's explore an essential question for our inner journey. Maharaj, is silence really the foundation of meditation and the purification of the mind? Or is true mental clarity beyond this quietude?
Rubian, silence is like fertile soil where clarity can begin to sprout, but it is not the final destination of our journey. When the mind quiets, we gain the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them, opening space for truth to emerge naturally. However, true mental clarity transcends mere silence. Imagine a serene lake. When the surface is calm, we can see clearly to the bottom. But the depth of the lake, which represents our true nature, is beyond what the surface reflects. Silence brings the necessary peace to observe, but realization happens when we recognize what lies beyond, the impersonal and eternal consciousness that we are. It is in this state of clarity and presence that we find the true purpose of meditation, where peace and liberation find their natural home.
Marcus, how do you see this issue? Is silence fundamental to mental purification, or do we need to go beyond it?
Rubian, silence is a powerful tool, but it is only the beginning of the journey. It's like when we contemplate a garden at dawn, silence allows us to appreciate every detail, but it is our active awareness that brings us the true understanding of the beauty before us. External stillness facilitates introspection, creating a space where we can look inward and observe our thoughts clearly. However, true mental clarity involves something deeper. It is the ability to understand the nature of our thoughts and emotions. True wisdom arises when we harmonize this silence with active self-observation, nourishing our mind and spirit with reflections that elevate our understanding of life and human nature. Silence is the portal, but clarity reveals itself in the depth of understanding we cultivate through it.
Extraordinary how both views show us different dimensions of the same truth. While Maharaj reveals silence as a portal to our deeper essence, Marcus presents it as a catalyst for true understanding. I now realize that silence is not the final goal, but rather a necessary bridge to achieve a clarity that transcends quietude itself. Our next question touches on something we all face daily. Maharaj, how do we maintain a healthy mind in a world that seems perpetually chaotic? How do we find balance amidst so much turbulence?
Rubian, maintaining a healthy mind amidst chaos is an art that begins with acceptance. Imagine being in a boat on a rough sea. Instead of fighting against the waves, you learn to navigate with them. This is how we should approach the chaos of life. Self-observation is key in this process. When we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions like clouds passing through the sky, we avoid identifying with every mental turbulence that arises. This practice helps us eliminate confusion and maintain clarity even in challenging moments. Cultivating presence is also essential. Instead of getting lost in worries about the past or future, we need to anchor our attention in the now, where life truly unfolds. It happens. It is in this state of presence that we find a natural lightness, allowing the mind to face chaos with serenity. Finally, detachment is crucial. The more we cling to desires, experiences, or people, the more vulnerable we become to external chaos. When we learn to observe without attachment and accept the flow of life, we discover a space of freedom and tranquility, even amidst the storm.
Marcus, how do you see the issue of maintaining mental sanity in such a chaotic world?
Rubian, keeping a healthy mind in times of chaos requires a constant practice of self-reflection and self-control. We live in a universe where uncertainty is the only constant, and accepting this reality is the first step toward finding balance. When intense emotions like anger or anxiety arise, we need to look within and investigate their origin. It is crucial to recognize that our inner peace is often disturbed by mental illusions that distort reality. The practice of meditation and introspection can be our compass amidst the storm. Detachment from distractions and materialism is also fundamental. Often, we lose our peace seeking external validation, forgetting that our true strength lies in our ability to govern ourselves. Cultivating gratitude and simplicity helps us appreciate the little things, bringing genuine contentment.
It's impressive how both perspectives offer us practical paths to mental health. Maharaj teaches us about the art of navigating through chaos, while Marcus emphasizes the power of self-governance and simplicity. I've learned that true mental stability does not come from controlling the external world, but from cultivating a wiser relationship with our internal experiences. A vital question for our times, especially when so many of us face emotional challenges. Maharaj, can the greatest mental ills of humanity today, such as depression and anxiety, be healed with internal silence?
Rubian, internal silence is a transformative tool for dealing with these emotional challenges. Imagine our mind as a house with many noisy rooms. Depression and anxiety are like the amplified echo of those internal noises. When we practice silence, it's as if we open the windows of that house, allowing the fresh air of consciousness to circulate freely. When the mind quiets down, we begin to realize that these ills are not our true nature, but transient states. It's like when dark clouds dissipate, revealing the blue sky that has always been there. Internal silence reconnects us with our essence, which is naturally serene and balanced. The constant practice of meditation and conscious presence not only alleviates symptoms momentarily but can lead to profound and lasting transformation. It is a path to discovering the joy that exists beyond the fluctuations of the mind, allowing us to gradually free ourselves from the shackles of mental suffering.
A deeply revealing perspective, Maharaj. Marcus, I would like to hear your view on how internal silence can assist in healing these modern ills that afflict us so much.
Look, Rubian, internal silence is like a sacred garden where we can cultivate our healing. When we allow ourselves this inner retreat, we create a space where the mind can naturally reorganize, like a library where the books find their proper places after a period of disorder. The practice of inner retreat that I have always advocated allows us to observe our mental disturbances with greater clarity. It's like being in a watchtower. From there, we can see that many of our anxieties and sorrows are the result of distorted perceptions and social pressures we have internalized. This silence is not a sterile void, but a state of fullness where our inner wisdom can emerge. It is in this space that we find the tools to face our ills not as permanent enemies, but as challenges we can overcome with understanding and courage.
Fascinating how both views illuminate different aspects of the healing power of silence. It's clear now that internal silence is not just a pause from mental noise, but an active force of healing and transformation. Well, let's continue our exploration. A question that touches the depths of human experience. Maharaj, what is the depth of the spiritual experiences we can reach by seeking internal silence?
Rubian, internal silence is a portal to unimaginable dimensions of spiritual experience. When we turn our attention inward, we find not only a space of calm but a direct access to our true essence. Imagine the mind as a screen where we constantly project our thoughts and emotions. The more agitation there is, the more distorted that projection becomes. By silencing this internal noise, we allow pure consciousness to reveal itself naturally, a state where the separation between the self and the universe completely dissolves. In this space of deep silence, we experience moments of yogic bliss, where all dualities dissolve. The wisdom that emerges transcends words and mental concepts. It is in this silence that we find true freedom, where longings and pains dissipate, leaving only unconditional peace and love.
What a profound vision of the transformative potential of silence, Maharaj. Marcus, how do you see the possibilities of spiritual experiences that internal silence can provide us?
Rubian, seeking internal silence is like embarking on a journey to the depths of an ocean of tranquility and wisdom. When we manage to silence the distractions of the external world, our mind naturally connects with deeper and more essential truths. In this state of quietude, we can hear the whispers of our own soul, aligning ourselves with the nature of the universe. Spiritual experiences manifest in subtle yet transformative ways, varying according to our willingness to find what lies beyond the immediately visible. It is in this sacred space that we find answers to our deepest concerns and develop a genuine connection not only with those around us, but with the very essence of humanity. Internal silence thus becomes an illuminated path to wisdom and true spiritual fulfillment.
It's impressive how both views reveal different facets of the spiritual experience. While Maharaj shows us how silence dissolves the barriers of the ego, Marcus guides us toward a deeper connection with universal essence. I now understand that silence is not just a state of quietude, but a portal to transformative experiences that can revolutionize our understanding of life. And speaking of understanding life, let's talk now about happiness. Maharaj, besides internal silence, is there anything else we can seek to be truly happy?
Rubian, true happiness transcends internal silence, although it is an important portal. Imagine yourself as an explorer in search of treasure. Silence is like the map that guides us, but the true treasure is the deep understanding of who we really are. When we detach ourselves from superficial identities, social expectations, and limiting beliefs that bind us, we begin to access our natural essence, which is intrinsically happy and free. It's like removing layers of dust from a diamond. Its beauty and brilliance have always been there, just waiting to be revealed. Authentic happiness is not a future goal, but a present realization. It emerges naturally when we recognize ourselves as part of something greater, when we cultivate detachment from what is transient and embrace acceptance of the present moment. It is a challenging path, yes, but each step towards self-knowledge brings with it a deeper and more lasting joy than any external achievement could provide.
What an illuminating perspective. Marcus, besides internal silence, what else can we cultivate to find true happiness?
Look, Rubian, genuine happiness flourishes when we align our actions with our highest values. It's like a symphony where each note needs to be in harmony with the whole to create a perfect melody. True happiness manifests when we live according to our principles, cultivating mental purity and moral integrity. When we are guided by reason and ethics, we build a solid foundation for lasting joy. Moreover, our active involvement in the community and the pursuit of purposes that transcend the ego provide us with a profound sense of belonging and meaning. It is essential to understand that authentic happiness does not depend on external applause or recognition, but nourishes itself from just actions and a life lived with authenticity. When we dedicate ourselves to what is truly valuable, we discover a joy that goes beyond momentary circumstances.
Fascinating how both views complement each other so deeply. Maharaj shows us that happiness lies in recognizing our true nature, while Marcus emphasizes the importance of living aligned with elevated values. I realize now that true happiness is not something to be achieved, but a natural expression of a life lived with wisdom and purpose. My friends, we have reached the end of a truly transformative conversation. The profound perspectives shared by Nisargadatta Maharaj and Marcus Aurelius have shown us that silence is not just a pause in noise, but a powerful tool for inner transformation. We have learned that amidst the storms of life, silence can be our safe harbor, a space where we can observe our internal battles with clarity and wisdom. We have seen how it can be a catalyst for our creativity, a path to emotional healing, and a portal to deep spiritual experiences. I want to express my deep gratitude to our masters for sharing their timeless wisdom with us. Their complementary perspectives have shown us different facets of the same truth, that silence can be our greatest strength amid the chaos of modern life. If you are interested in understanding more about how to deal with external pressures and find your inner peace, be sure to check out our video, Nobody Cares About What You Do, and that's liberating, where Alan Watts and Osho show us how to free ourselves from the need for external approval. And if you were intrigued by our discussion on finding meaning amid chaos, I highly recommend watching our video, Why the Modern World Makes No Sense, where Yogananda and Osho explore how we can find purpose in turbulent times. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue exploring deep themes like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here, we always bring transformative conversations that can help you find more clarity and peace on your journey. Thank you for watching this far, and I wish you to be free from everything that takes away your peace.